This video is to show you how to set up, operate, and clean your Mini Marg machine. The machine comes about 80% assembled, just has a few parts you have to throw on for it to work. The first is the drip tray, which goes on the front of the machine, fits into the slot, just like that. The only other thing you have to do before you operate it is to plug in the second auger, which is a wire on the back, plugs right into the back frame of the machine. Once that's put together, those two pieces, it's ready to go. You're going to pour your mix into the top of the machine, put the lid back on to run the machine. The mix for these machines needs to be at least 15% sugar or alcohol so that it will slush. If the mix is not at least 15% sugar or alcohol, it will not slush and the machine will bind up, and you'll see the error light that we're going to discuss in a few minutes. So once the mix is in, to start your machine running, you turn the main power on, lower right hand corner, red switch. You'll hear a fan and the compressor come on. The left switch on the control panel is the auger switch. You'll turn that to on. That stirs the mix in the machine. You'll see both the front and back augers start to spin. The right switch is the compressor switch. It's a 3-position switch. It has off in the middle. Min is the top switch, which means a thinner mix. Max is the bottom position of the switch, which is a thicker slush. So we'll turn it on max here. That's where you're running your machine probably 90% of the time. Within a few seconds, the green LED above the snowflake turns on. That tells you that the machine is cooling. On max, with a regular mix at room temperature, you can plan on 60 to 90 minutes before the machine cools the mix down to a good slush. If the machine has been running for more than 90 minutes and it's not slushed, you probably have a mix issue. Additionally, if the outside of the bowl starts to ice over before the inside, i.e. where the mix is, gets to a good slush, then you have a mix issue. That means the mix has either too much or not enough sugar and it's not going to freeze to a full slush. When you're operating the machine and you finish up and you want to clean the machine out, the first thing you do is shut everything down, turn the mixer off, compressor off. We can turn the main power off. It's best to unplug the machine, which we do off camera here. You unplug the rear auger. You can drain the mix out of the machine, and then we typically will run 2 to 3 gallons of clean, first a gallon of warm soapy water, then a couple gallons of clean warm water through to rinse the soap out, and that's a quick clean. For the more detailed cleans, which happen every 3 or 4 times you use the machine, you're going to want to disassemble the parts and clean them individually. First is the nozzle, so you'll pull the pin out of the nozzle. The handle then comes out the front. Those 2 parts dishwasher safe. The nozzle cover on the bottom comes off, and then the plunger and spring can come out. All these parts are dishwasher safe, can be put in the top rack of the dishwasher, but do not put it on heated dry. The lid of the machine comes off and the rear paddle comes out. That is also dishwasher safe, top rack, not heated dry. And the auger of the machine will come off by rotating it counterclockwise about a half a turn and pulling up. Also dishwasher safe. If you need to remove the bowl for cleaning, it just lifts right off the top of the machine easily. That can be washed in your sink. Don't use abrasives on that or it will scratch it. Reassembly is just the reverse. First we put the bowl back on top of the machine. Slides right over the freezing cylinder down into the seal. Give it a little push. We can put the auger back on by putting it over the top and rotating it clockwise about a half a turn. You'll feel it engage with the motor. We can put the top lid with the paddle back in it. Just sits back on top of the machine. You'd want to plug it in for the next use. The nozzle reassembly, first thing you do is slide the spring up in the bottom. Then you slide the plunger up in the bottom. Hold that up in there with your finger and you slide the handle into the slot. The handle holds it in place and you put the pin back in. Then the cap goes on the bottom of the nozzle. That keeps it from spilling down the front of the machine. Before you use the machine, you want to make sure the bowl is pushed down tight onto the machine. Just wiggle it back and forth left to right by pushing on the front. That seals it good and prevents mix from leaking out the bottom. That is pretty much how you set up, operate, and clean your Mini Marg machine.